Hello and good morning. I'm sorry I can't be with you in Delhi today, but Sonali posed two questions to me, and I wanted to record this message just to sort of address the questions that she gave me. One was that she asked me that I've been working for the inclusion of girls for many years now, and how do I think exclusion affects our society? And I think that's a really good question. And I have been working on girls' education for over 16 years now, focusing very much on the out of school girls, girls who are excluded from education. And honestly, I have never met a girl who says, I want to stay at home, I want to graze the cattle, I want to look after the siblings, or that I want to be a child bride. Every single girl I meet wants to go to school. But to secure that basic right to an education, girls still have to overcome many, many barriers. And this exclusion actually has a lot of consequences for them. It keeps them out of the classrooms, it keeps them out of family decisions, it keeps them out of decisions which are affecting their own lives. And this exclusion is actually seen across all strata of society, whether it is participation in the classrooms or representation in the boardrooms. And what we see is exclusion becomes pervasive. And therefore, inclusion is critical. As in the case of gender, I always feel like, we women are not equal until that last most vulnerable girl has equality. And that equality can actually only be won through an education. So inclusion in education, if you had to ask me very simply, is not just a nice to have, but it is essential because it is her inherent right and a right that must always take center stage. The second question that Sonali posed to me was, why do you support the mainstreaming of children with special needs, especially in foundational literacy and numeracy? And again, I think it's a good question and a really important question for our times. And my belief is that to unlock the true power of education, it must reach everyone, and by which I mean everyone, and leaving really no one behind. And at Educate Girls, we believe that when you build systems for that last most vulnerable child, it actually benefits everyone in the process. And we saw this firsthand in our development impact bond when we were building our foundational literacy and numeracy curriculum. We wanted to hold ourselves accountable to that last girl, to that last child, and we came to Sonali at Solzak to actually help us build this because we realized that our own children are actually special needs children in some ways because your extreme social and economic marginalization also is another form of what leads to whether it's first generation learners, etc. It leads to a level of exclusion. So we sort of said like, okay, let's get a specialist who works with special needs kids to actually build a foundational literacy numeracy curriculum. And honestly, the evidence was spectacular. In 3 years, just even through a village level delivery mechanism, our village level volunteers, we were actually able to see that an average child had like improvements which were equal to an additional year of schooling. And that's massive, right? And at scale. And that was only, I think, because of that inclusion lens. So in my view, it's kind of like an evidence-based strategy saying if you build for that last child, even a child with special needs, if you really build for them, everybody else in the system actually moves and accelerates much, much, much faster. So therefore, I feel like inclusion actually is not just an evidence-based strategy. It's not just because it is their right, because that is the sort of at the center stage, but also I think on a societal level, it actually sows the seeds of diversity and empathy. When you have all children in the classroom, and that itself, I think, will go a long way in helping us build a civilized society. And I also feel that I think this conversation that you're having today is really important, but it's also very timely. The time is right because we have the NEP 2020 that actually doubles down on inclusion to bring large scale reform in education. So, with that, I feel like there is no time better than today to have this conversation. And I wish you all an absolutely fabulous event. Thank you.